My decision was to report Craven for forging Daniel's signature on the loan documents. I reached this decision by working through the ethical decision-making framework. Step 1, I assessed the situation. That is, Craven forged Daniel's signature on the loan documents to obtain the mortgage over Daniel's property. Daniel found out about Craven's fraud from ABC Finance, not Craven himself. Craven is a solicitor and Daniel's uncle. Craven has agreed to pay out the loan on the mortgage. There is some evidence that he has the ability to do this, and he has given some security over this. Daniel has instructed us not to report Craven, as he doesn't want to ruin his life, and further, Daniel is concerned that if Craven is reported and subsequently prosecuted, he might not have the ability to discharge the mortgage. If we don't report Craven, then we'll be doing what the client wants. However, Craven will get away with the fraud. Although this may result in the client's title being unencumbered by the mortgage, it will not protect the community and our professional standing may be at risk. If we do report Craven, then we'll not be doing what the client wants and will likely result in the client's title remaining encumbered by the mortgage. Step 2, I considered the various values. So respect for life. Daniel clearly wants to preserve Craven's career, or at least not to ruin it. This may occur if we report him. Justice is reflected in Rule 5 of the legal professional rules. That is the paramount duty to the court. This value would suggest that we should report Craven as he has committed an offence. However, this will likely conflict with the duty of our confidentiality, given that Daniel has provided this information. Fairness value, if Craven is reported, then he will not have the ability to repay the mortgage over Daniel's property. This wouldn't be that fair, given that Daniel is an innocent bystander in the matter, and this would go to suggest we don't report Craven. Covenantal integrity, if we had made a promise to Daniel that we would not report Craven, then this would suggest that we abide by that promise. However, in doing this, we may be breaching our duty to the administration of justice. Step 3, I reflected on the type of person and lawyer that I wanted to be. If I want to be the kind of lawyer that values promises to their client above what is required by the law, this would go towards not reporting Craven. If I want to be the kind of lawyer that values their position as an officer of the court above the duty to the client, this would suggest that we do report Craven, or at least to stop acting for Daniel. Step 4, I examine the data. It is difficult. It's a difficult position because arguably the best outcome for Daniel, financially at least, would be to not report Craven, as this would mean Craven may have the ability to repay the mortgage over Daniel's property. However, given that Craven's fraud was discovered by ABC Finance and not an admission by Craven himself, this would go to suggest that Craven isn't completely remorseful. Therefore, if we do not report him and it is discovered that he's doing similar things to other parties, we may be liable for not reporting him. Given this, it is best to report Craven and to bring an action to recover the amount equal to the mortgage. Although this may not be totally recoverable, it is likely that Daniel will recover some amount, given that Craven is a solicitor and has some real estate. Step 5, the decision to report Craven is feasible, as Craven has admitted to forging Daniel's signature on the loan documents. Reporting Craven will only be practical if we obtain consent from Daniel to do so. Daniel doesn't decide to report Craven, we should not act for Daniel. Reporting Craven is sustainable, as it will remove the liability of the firm and for ourselves. That is, if we do not report Craven and he engages in similar acts, we might be liable down the road. Looking at my learned friend's presentation, especially her thorough analysis of the legal professional rules, specifically Rule 16, which requires lawyers to maintain professional integrity and not to further a client's matter dishonestly, and the value of honesty in upholding the paramount duty to the court to protect the public, was really good, and it further encouraged my decision to report Craven. And in practice, I could receive assistance in making ethical decisions and sort of getting past ethical dilemmas by reaching out to experienced lawyers or special counsel.